when we get triggered, it's a lot of the times I'd offer maybe all the time, it's not expected.
Yeah.
You know, we might say something, and we may, if you say something and you trigger me, like I may not even know that I would have been triggered by that, and it's not fair of me to put that on you. And so I feel like having those boundaries and laying that foundation down for the communication was important, because it helped us understand that whatever trigger we're having is not the other person's responsibility. It's our responsibility. It's our own responsibility, because we're allowing something outside of ourselves to trigger something within ourselves. Now, the responsibility then, like if I'm triggered by something you say, my responsibility is to effectively communicate what is occurring. You know, allowing, saying, hey, you know, I feel a little triggered right now, or hey, that did not feel good, or I didn't like the way you said that. Let me step away for a moment, or let me pause, let me process this. There's so many different approaches that you can do that we've talked about, or that someone may want to talk about with their partner on the best way for them, because I feel like there's no right way to do it. But yeah, just, and then you, like for me, it's, hey, I need, just give me a moment. I need to process this. You lovingly hold space, and then I can understand, well, hey, is this something that I was aware of? Is this something we've talked about before? You know, if it's something I'm not aware of, then I can be like, wow, you know, hey, thanks for bringing that forward. I'd like to share this with you and what's going on, because I had no idea this was here. Is this something you could actually help me with moving forward? So if whether it's you or someone else says this again, I'm not letting that determine how I react. I would then hear it, and I can choose how I respond. I'm not letting something outside of me control or determine how I choose to live in this world, which again is part of our guiding principles and personal boundaries, right?
Right.
So, but if it is something we have talked about it, then it's not like, you know, why would you do that again? Or, back, right, throwing it right back at you. That's throwing fire on the fire, right? It just doesn't make sense. So again, like, hey, give me a moment to process this. You know, hey, love, do you remember, like, when we talked about this? You know, is there another way in the future we might be able to have a similar discussion, but maybe you can present it in a different way? At least until I'm able to effectively get through whatever this is. I don't know why it's triggering me, or hey, can you help me? You know, that becomes a team. It's not an island. It's not one thing. It's not only child syndrome. It's we're working as a team together. We're tackling this. We're making it happen, and we're approaching this saying, you know, it's a united front, and that's really what it's all about being a partnership, is being on the same page.
Yes. And being willing to say, hey, can you help me with this?
Yeah.
And when either of us say that, then the next question immediately is, how can I best help you?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like I just say, yes, I can help you with that, and then I presume to know how I can help you. Me to the rescue.
Yes.
It is, yes, I am more than willing to help you. How do you feel I can help you?
Yeah.
Because you're being vulnerable enough to ask me for help.
Mm-hmm.
That is a very loving place to come at it from. But now what I need to do is seek to understand the type of help that you're asking for, and not just presume that I know. So that goes into effective communication as well.
Right.
I need to understand. Seeking to understand is such a huge part of this, because when we go based on what we think we know, which is how this whole conversation here started, right? You projected that you thought you knew, which stopped the whole communication and conversation flow between us.
Mm-hmm.
But the same would be true if I just presumed I would know what help you need.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't receive help the way that I would give help. And if I truly desire to be helpful, I need to help you the way that you receive help, not the way that I would just inherently give help, because maybe that wouldn't be helpful for you.
Yeah.
And if I really want to be helpful, my ego needs to go to the side, not killed off,
Mm-hmm.
just to the side, so that I can really be there for you.
Mhm.
And so we talk about it. What would be the most beneficial? How do you need me to be there to support you as you grow in this space? And we establish those parameters. And then sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes what you or I feel would help us in breaking up habit patterns or behavior patterns doesn't work. Let's be honest. Seems like it's a good idea. Seems like a great idea at the time. And then we implement it and it's like, well, that didn't work.
Yes.
So we don't beat each other up when it doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's another key part of it too, going back to that gotcha. Well, you said this is what you needed. Again, we're not in a competition. At the time, it's exactly what we felt would help. Upon implementing it, it didn't work. That's what trial and error does. Now we know it didn't work, and that's fine. So we do something else. But then we communicate about that. All right, what about that wasn't effective?
Yeah.
What did we learn together? Like, generally I learned something along the process too. Being in a partnership allows us both to learn from each other. And as long as we're willing to do that and to consistently discuss it, then we are able to grow together through the whole thing.